Welcome to the Political Bridge. I'm Ada, your host. Today we're diving into a topic that touches every American's wallet and daily life: government spending and the threat of shutdowns. These events can halt services, delay paychecks, and create a lot of uncertainty. We've seen them happen before, and the possibility always looms. It's a complex issue. It involves our national budget, how we prioritize needs, and what role the government should play in our economy. We'll explore how different approaches to spending impact citizens. We'll also look at the real consequences when a shutdown occurs. Nico and Jordan are here to help us understand the different viewpoints on this critical issue. Let's get started.
Thanks, Ada. The core issue here is simple. Our government spends too much. We face a national debt that is growing out of control. This debt puts a huge burden on future generations. It also makes our economy weaker. When the government spends more than it takes in, it has to borrow money. This borrowing can lead to higher interest rates for everyone. It can also cause inflation, meaning your dollar buys less. We need to cut spending. We must prioritize essential services and reduce waste. We need to make tough choices now to protect our financial future. A government shutdown, while disruptive, sometimes forces Congress to face these hard truths. It makes them look at what is truly necessary. This is about fiscal responsibility. It's about ensuring a strong economy for our kids and grandkids. We cannot keep kicking the can down the road on government spending.
Nico, I agree that we need a strong economy, but cutting vital government programs is not the way to get there. Government spending is an investment in our people and our future. It funds schools, roads, and healthcare. It supports scientific research and keeps our food safe. These are not luxuries. They are necessities. A government shutdown hurts real people. It stops paychecks for federal workers. It delays benefits for veterans and seniors. It closes national parks. These disruptions harm our economy and our communities. They create uncertainty for families. We need to invest in our infrastructure and social safety nets. This creates jobs and helps everyone thrive. We should focus on fair tax policies to fund these investments. We should not cut programs that help working families. We need a government that works for everyone, not just a few.
Both of you have laid out strong opening arguments. Nico, you emphasize the need for fiscal discipline and cutting spending. Jordan, you highlight the importance of government investment and the harm caused by shutdowns. My first question for both of you is this: how do we balance the need for financial responsibility with the need to provide essential services? Where do we draw the line between necessary cuts and vital investments? Nico, let's start with you.
Ada, the line is drawn by focusing on core government functions. National defense, border security, and basic regulatory oversight are essential. Many other programs, however, have grown too large and inefficient. We need to review every department and every program. We must find areas where private businesses or local communities can do a better job, or where the program is simply not effective. For example, some federal education programs have not improved student outcomes, yet they cost billions. We need to empower states and individuals, not expand federal bureaucracy. This isn't about being heartless. It's about being smart with taxpayer money. When we talk about the future of government spending, we must prioritize what truly benefits the nation as a whole. We cannot afford to fund everything indefinitely.
Nico, that approach ignores the interconnectedness of our society. Education, healthcare, and environmental protection are not non-core functions. They are fundamental to a healthy, productive population. When you cut federal funding for schools, local property taxes often go up, or schools simply have fewer resources. When you cut environmental protections, communities face more pollution. This leads to higher healthcare costs. These cuts don't save money in the long run. They shift costs and create new problems. We need to invest in preventative care, not just emergency services. We need to invest in renewable energy, not just fossil fuels. These investments create jobs and save money over time. They improve people's lives. The idea that we can simply cut our way to prosperity is a myth. It ignores the real impact on working families and vulnerable populations.
This brings us to our stress test round. Nico, you argue that a shutdown can force necessary cuts and expose waste, but your argument assumes that cuts made during a shutdown are always the right ones. It also assumes that the disruption is a worthwhile cost. Can you truly say that the chaos of a shutdown leads to smart long-term policy decisions rather than just short-term political wins? Jordan, you advocate for robust government investment in many areas, but your argument often downplays the real financial limits. It also assumes that more spending always equals better outcomes. How do you ensure that these investments are efficient and don't just add to our national debt without clear benefits?
Ada, you're right that shutdowns are not ideal. They are a symptom of a broken budget process, not a solution. However, they do shine a light on what is truly essential and what is not. During a shutdown, agencies must decide what services are critical. This forces a reevaluation. It shows us where we can streamline operations. It reveals programs that are not delivering value. It's not about making perfect policy in a crisis. It's about exposing the need for serious budget reform. The alternative is to continue unchecked spending. That is a far greater threat to our nation's stability. Sometimes a temporary disruption is necessary to prevent a permanent decline. The future of government spending requires tough choices. We need to stop pretending we can fund everything without consequences.
Ada, my argument is not about spending without limits. It's about smart, targeted investments. We need to ensure accountability for every dollar spent. This means regular program reviews. It means setting clear goals and measuring outcomes. For example, investing in early childhood education has proven returns. It improves long-term academic success and reduces crime. That's a wise investment, not just more spending. We can also fund these investments through fair tax policies. We can ask the wealthiest corporations and individuals to pay their fair share. This reduces the burden on working families. It also helps balance the budget. It's not about throwing money at problems. It's about strategic spending that builds a stronger, more resilient society. We can't afford not to invest in our future.
This stress test reveals the core tension in this debate. Nico, you argue that financial discipline is paramount. You believe that even disruptive measures might be necessary to achieve it. Jordan, you highlight the human cost of cuts and the long-term benefits of investment. You believe that smart spending is the true path to prosperity. Both sides acknowledge the need for responsibility, but they define it very differently. Let's move to closing arguments. Nico, what's your final case for your position?
My final point is this. We are facing a crisis of debt. Our national debt is a ticking time bomb. It threatens our economy and our children's future. We cannot keep spending money we don't have. We must make difficult choices now to reduce our national debt. This means cutting wasteful programs. It means prioritizing essential government functions. It means empowering individuals and states, not growing federal power. A government shutdown is a symptom of this larger problem. It shows that Congress cannot agree on a responsible budget. We need to demand real fiscal responsibility from our leaders. Otherwise, we will continue down a path of economic instability. The future of government spending depends on our ability to live within our means. We must protect the taxpayer and ensure a strong economy.
Nico, I agree that we need to be responsible with our money, but true responsibility means investing in our people and our communities. It means ensuring everyone has a fair shot. Cutting essential services does not save money. It creates more problems down the road. It harms our economy and our society. A government shutdown is not a solution. It's a failure of leadership. It causes real pain for real people. We need to focus on smart investments in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. We need to ensure that the wealthiest among us pay their fair share in taxes. This is how we build a strong, fair economy for everyone. This is how we avoid the chaos of shutdowns. We need a government that works for all of us, not just a few. That's the only way forward.
Jordan, while you advocate for smart, targeted investments, the reality is that many government programs, even those with seemingly good intentions, suffer from significant mission creep and inefficiency over time. Consider the Department of Education, for example. Established in 1980, its budget has ballooned, yet American students' performance in international assessments like PISA has shown stagnant or even declining trends in key areas like math and reading. This isn't just about funding. It's about whether federal intervention is truly effective or if it creates layers of bureaucracy that stifle innovation and local control. We need to critically examine these long-standing programs, not just assume more money will fix them. The Congressional Budget Office frequently highlights programs where federal spending has questionable returns on investment. Continuing to fund these without rigorous reevaluation is fiscally irresponsible. We must shift from a how much can we spend mindset to a how effectively are we spending one. And that often means decentralizing power and allowing states and communities to innovate without federal mandates.
Nico, your point about mission creep and bureaucracy is valid, but it overlooks the critical role federal agencies often play in setting standards and ensuring equitable access, especially in areas like education. While PISA scores might be stagnant, federal initiatives like Title I funding have been crucial in providing resources to disadvantaged schools, attempting to level the playing field for millions of students who would otherwise be left behind. Without federal oversight, we risk a patchwork of educational quality, where a child's opportunities are dictated solely by their zip code. Moreover, the federal government often funds foundational research and development that private industry won't undertake due to long timelines or high risk, yet these investments yield massive economic benefits down the line. Think of the internet or GPS, both products of initial government investment. The issue isn't federal involvement itself, but rather ensuring accountability and adapting programs to current needs, not simply dismantling them. We need to reform, not just cut, and recognize the systemic impact of federal support.
And that brings us to the end of another insightful discussion on the political bridge. Today, Nico and Jordan have helped us understand the complex arguments around government spending and the threat of shutdowns. It's clear there are deeply held beliefs on how best to manage our nation's finances and serve its people. We heard about the need for fiscal discipline and the importance of government investment. These are not easy questions, and there are no simple answers. We hope this conversation has given you a clearer picture of the different perspectives. You can find more information and resources at tpbridgepod.com. Join us next time for another engaging discussion. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep bridging those political divides.